So we've talked about a lot of bridge quarterback options. We just talked about Sam Darnold there for a second.
Yeah.
Real quick.
Real
Can I
quick.
interest you in another?
Really quick.
Didn't we already talk about this ridiculousness yesterday?
No, we did not. Can
Oh
I
my
interest you
God.
in another Minnesota Vikings quarterback who has ties to Kevin Stefanski, who's making a comeback as a potential bridge option next year? Teddy Bridgewater has not been a starter since 2021. He led his high school
Patently
alma
absurd.
mater to a 6A Florida State title this season, and now he's coming back to the NFL. Jay, you talked about the option or the reality that there are not a ton of options on the quarterback market. So what about a possible reunion between Teddy Two Gloves and Kevin Stefanski?
You know what I think went down? I think during one of his practices in high school, Teddy got to zinging the ball around, throwing posts or whatever he was doing. And his 16-year-old DBs are like, damn, coach, you still got it.
It's like the Jim Morris movie.
That was my next line. It's like the rookie.
Yeah.
And then I think Teddy went home and said, man, babe, I got to tell you, I was slinging it today. And I don't even feel sore. I was hitting those 40-yard dots. And he started throwing a little bit more at practice.
Yeah.
And more of the DBs were like, coach, I think you still got it. Then they won the state championship, and then he's like, I think I still got it. And my next question is there any chance Fran Tarkington's still available?
That's right. Now,
at what point do we draw the line on these dudes?
In fairness to Teddy Bridgewater, I don't think he retired because he had to. I think he retired because he didn't want to play anymore.
Well, I could be misremembering this.
Yeah.
To me, it's like he had stepped on a landmine. He was
always hurt.
Riddled.
Sure.
Always
But
hurt.
he has a great reputation as like a player, like as a good guy.
Sure.
And I'm sure some team would love to have him as a veteran backup, but nobody's going to start him. But I bet some team will take him on as a backup, even with the injuries.
How old?
He's not that old.
No, he's 30 years old. Just turned 30.
And he's only been retired
32.
a year. I thought he had been out longer. He hasn't started in a while. But his great reputation, it's silly to talk about him as a starter and a bridge quarterback. But I bet you somebody will take him as a backup.
I would bring him into camp at least if I was a team with a young quarterback. And
Right, he's a good influence on
at
young
least have
players.
that
But
6
not for
weeks
the
with
Browns.
him.
He would be like a second coach in the quarterback
yeah.
room.
See, this is why I hate this, man. This is why they need to name a quarterback. I don't care who it is. But, bro, we be getting laughed at. Teddy Bridgewater, we just might as well bring up any old quarterback.
Brian Hoyer.
Yeah, there you go.
Blame Mike.
I bring him into camp, Jay.
No, give him a shot.
Give him an opportunity.
Give him a shot.
He can
This
sit
is
behind
not-
a rookie and stop. Just give me still.
Hey, the Browns are not the only team that need a quarterback. There's a lot of teams that need quarterbacks.
Well, look, we talked a minute ago. The going rate for Goodwin's $50 million a year.
McNuggets, all you have to do is just blindly cover what they look like and read the resume, and they're all some version of Flacco and Jameis Winston.
Well,
you've already had all of them. Yeah. They're the same person.
Well, let's talk about the teams that need quarterbacks for a minute. And then let's see. Could we sidebar here, Mike, for a minute?
Yeah.
All right.
Absolutely.
So
Anything that gets us off talking about Teddy Bridgewater, I'm
Teddy
in favor
ball
of.
games?
So
this all
team-
ties back to Teddy Bridgewater.
teams
That's
that
it.
need quarterbacks, in theory, okay, the Jets. I don't know what Aaron Rodgers, what's going to happen with him. You've got.
He's under contract for next year, right?
I think so.
Yes, he
Yeah,
is.
the
But
big
I'm going to
question
count.
is, does
I'm
he
going to
want
count the Jets as a team that needs a quarterback.
Giants.
Well,
you're
Pittsburgh. I mean,
No.
No, I think they've settled on Russ, haven't they?
he's a free agent.
They're going
Isn't
to pay
he?
him.
Wow, he just signed a 1 year there?
He did, yeah.
I think
Wow.
so.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
they're gonna pay
technically
him.
Pittsburgh.
They're going to
Yeah.
pay him.
All right. Tennessee,
Yeah.
Yes.
Jacksonville. They paid Lawrence, so they're going to keep him. So that's 3. The Raiders. That's 4. Giants. That's 5.
Those are going to be taken care of with rookies.
Saints.
The Saints is 6.
Do you think the Colts come to the realization that
No.
Richardson
Not
is
yet.
not
I think they
in?
give him one more year.
One more
they?
year.
They will a year later because he's.
What
not-
about in Carolina?
Carolina? I
No.
would stick with Bryce
They're
Young
gonna
if I
stick
were
with
them.
Bryce
I think
Young.
they kind of have to.
They'll stick
He's
with
shown
Bryce
a
Young.
little promise this
Yeah.
year. So still 6.
But Richardson has shown me nothing.
All right, so it's and maybe the Rams, maybe Seattle.
No,
I don't know.
No, I wouldn't put
How
them
many
on
years
the
does
list.
Stafford have left?
I don't know, but he's still playing
All
at a
right,
very,
and
very
the
high
Browns, of course. So that's 7 teams that need a quarterback.
Really 6, because I would take. I understand why you put
Yeah.
the Steelers on, but I would take.
And the Vikings. Okay, but we're going to say Darnold goes back to the Vikings.
And they got McCarthy.
assume that.
And they
We'll
got
take
McCarthy.
the Steelers.
And if he doesn't go, then one other team will come off the list because they'll have filled their need.
Right. All right. So let's take the Steelers off the list, and let's take the Vikings off.
So what
the
did
list.
you give you 5?
So
or
we
6?
have the Jets, the Browns,
the Giants, the Raiders,
the Titans, the Raiders,
The Giants.
the Giants,
Saints.
and the Saints.
Okay, so
that's
that's
6
6
teams.
6.
So who are the potential starting quarterbacks? We'll say Cam Ward and Shador Sanders are 2 of the 6.
Yes.
Yep.
Right? Then the other 4, who are the other 4 starting quarterbacks? Is Jameis going to be a starter somewhere?
No.
Teddy Bridgewater?
No. Come on, Mike.
Sit down.
He's already sitting.
Back to your room.
Is Justin Fields going to be a starter somewhere?
Could
Probably.
be. Has a better chance than the 2 names
If I'm
you just
Justin
mentioned.
Fields, I go back to Pittsburgh. Why
Stay
would?
as the
Why?
backup?
Yes.
And Russell Wilson's older eventually.
Yes.
You know.
Why, Fields has already been in a toxic, awful environment.
Yeah.
He's in a great
You want to
spot.
go to one of these bad teams?
Why would just go back to Pittsburgh?
I actually think
Yeah,
that's a smart
that makes
move.
perfect sense.
And,
Yeah.
and there's some security there, and he could just he's not going nowhere.
So who else? Carson Wentz? Are they
God.
giving him a chance to start?
No.
I'm
Daniel
not-
Jones? Is Daniel Jones? I bet you Daniel
Derek
Jones
Carr.
gets a chance.
Is Derek Carr a starter still?
Yes.
Saints owe him $30 million next year.
So Derek Carr might be back with
I
the
would
Saints.
put Carr and Jones on that list. I think Daniel
$30
Jones
million
gets a starting job
quarterback
next year.
these days is a deal.
As much as ugly as it's been the last few weeks, I'd rather Jameis be my starter than Daniel Jones.
I'm not touching Daniel Jones
Daniel
with nobody.
sucks.
I wouldn't pay him with
I'm
your
not
money.
saying bring him to Cleveland. I'm saying he's going to be
Yeah.
on one of those teams.
I'll echo
Yeah.
that, Bull. I
Yeah.
would say that give me Jameis, and here's why. I think that Kevin Stefanski, with another year with Jameis,
Yeah.
can finally get him to understand, don't throw the ball to the other team.
Well, it hasn't worked in 10 years.
I don't
Well, it
know.
hasn't worked with Stefanski in a couple of months. Maybe with another year.
Yeah.
And,
You know-
and the
you know-
reason I say that is because, and this is what always pulls me in on Jameis, the sexy upside to his game. If I showed you just his highlight reels, now you could say this about a lot of guys.
Yes, you could.
But his highlight reel looks different than a lot of guys' highlight reels. His highlight reel is spectacular.
Yeah. Well, and in the end, if the Saints are going to have Carr back, and you assume, and then two of the 2 worst teams are going to end up with Shador and Cam Ward.
Now you're down to
that's
3.
3 teams holding the bag with really nobody. Nobody that you want to start.
You know how you sell me on Jameis next year? Fire Ken Dorsey, put Kevin's offense back in, put him under center as a play-action quarterback.
Oh, God, I'm all in on that.
And then
because
I'll buy
we saw
in.
what that looked like with Flacco, and it adds another
cool with
element
that.
to Jameis's game.
But again,
was he a
Flacco
good
threw
play action?
as many turnovers as
Did
Jameis.
I mentioned that? I talked to a couple guys about that
Yeah.
Monday, and I said, why is it? I think I said this Monday.
I think you did say it Monday.
I said, why is it? Joe would throw an interception last year, and it was like, no big deal.
Yeah.
And Jameis throws one this year, and it just feels like
I
it's
felt like
devastating.
it was the time Jameis threw them.
Well, the responses I got was, number one, we were playing way better last year than we are this year.
Browns
And
had a
number
much better
2,
defense.
yeah, but that didn't really come up. I was talking more to the
Well,
offensive
that
guys.
leads into why they were better.
But it just
Flacco was
felt-
5-2 or whatever, and Jameis is 2-5.
And they just felt like with Flacco, all right, well, we're going to score on the next drive. It doesn't matter. We're going to score on the next
Yeah.
drive. And that feeling just doesn't exist this year. So, for whatever that's worth.
Yeah, I don't know.
I wonder what the frequency of interceptions are now to Jameis Winston's time in Cleveland this year to Joe Flacco's time last year.
I'll look it up during Mary Kay's interview. I'll have the answer
Is
to
it?
that.
Are they throwing interceptions with the same frequency?
Yeah,
And I'm not
yeah.
asking,
You
we
just
looked
looked
it
at
up
it the other day,
we
Mike.
looked at it the other day.
and I'm not
I'll
asking
look up
total
their
numbers. I'm
attempts.
asking per attempts.
Yeah,
yeah.
I'll have that number. I think I'm also going to throw in a topic every show from now to the end of the new year of
About
could this
Teddy?
player be a bridge quarterback? Because I'm looking at the list of free agent quarterbacks and can we talk ourselves into Shane Bichelle, Brett Rippon? You want a Jeff Driscoll reunion?
Jiminy Christmas.
How about Kyle Trask?
Saints.
Josh Dobbs back
Hey.
on the market. Easton Stick.
It's dark in them streets.
Guys, we're
dark.
going to do it. We're going to do it.
getting late.
We're not really
It's
going to
getting
do it.
late.
It is dark in them
Horrid
streets.
days.
Getting late.